Comparison is the thief of joy, and that's what Instagram is built off of. Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to talk about social media and my journey with that, and essentially what my conclusions are now after looking back at a year of my habits and the trends I've seen online, within myself, within my friends. So let's get started. The first thing I recognized was that I am actually in control. It's not like someone put social media in front of my face. I'm the one that's actively going out and seeking things to see on social media, and oftentimes it comes from a place where you're not content with yourself, because when you're not content with yourself, you are looking for distractions. You're looking to see what other people are doing and consume yourself and occupy with yourself with their interests and their lifestyle, whereas the work needs to be done here. It needs to be done with yourself. So that was the first thing I noticed right off the bat. You're in control. You need to recognize these really damaging habits that you're engaging in on a daily basis. And what I've been doing over the past month was waking up and not checking social media right away. Waking up, actually getting up, because those are two different things. You can wake up and still be in bed, but it's not until you actually get up and get your day started where it counts, right? So I would get up, get my day started, usually with a walk or some kind of meditation. And then when I had time, I would go on social media. I would no longer make it a priority. Not for myself, because I don't see how people say they use social media for themselves. They only post for themselves, and it's not to benefit others. Because my kind of counter argument is, if it's just for yourself, then why are you posting it in the first place on a social or public platform, right? Because I take YouTube in a different way. YouTube is kind of a hybrid for me. So it is like a hybrid between a social media platform and a search engine. I think more often than not, a lot of people forget that YouTube is essentially a search engine similar to Google. You have the homepage. That search bar is so powerful. It could take you to places where you need to go, right? So if I'm looking for a video similar to this one about people talking about their experiences, the algorithm is going to recommend me what it thinks I can watch or what it thinks I should be watching, right? So now by me making this video, I'm also adding to the algorithm, and I'm essentially sharing my story to hopefully help just one other person out there. I talked about Instagram. Instagram has always been the worst one for me. I think, just looking back at my habits, oftentimes I would just be posting out of a place of insecurity and not liking myself and needing that validation from others, simply put. Now what I do is, I don't have the app on my phone anymore. I've deleted it off of my phone. If I really have the urge to go and look for something on Instagram, I'll go in my mobile browser and I'll look. The harder you make it for yourself to actually go on social media, the easier it is to avoid, right? Because social media is there, it's meant to be easy, it's meant to keep you on and keep you scrolling for a long time, right? You're most likely not going to sit there on your internet browser, first of all, because it functions differently on the browser. Second of all, you aren't able to have like these sharing to story capabilities, and third, you probably will just forget about it like I did. I didn't talk about Twitter yet. Twitter, I was very upset with as well, because I just found that I was consuming a lot more than I was producing, and I was just so scared to produce as simple as a tweet, because I was just like, oh my god, this is going to be public, and if it's not well received, I have to delete it. Like, why am I doing this to myself, right? Like, there's no point, because this is another thing I want to talk about, the spotlight effect. We can go through our lives and not realize no one is actually paying as close attention to us as we are. Like, that's what the spotlight effect is. Like, we walk around in our lives thinking that the spotlight is on us at all times of the day. And I used to feel like this a lot, especially when I was in public. And like the simplest thing of like walking the wrong way on the sidewalk and having to turn around and go back, like that's fine. No one is watching you that closely and analyzing your every move, right? So I think it's just the unreasonable expectations we have in ourselves to attain this perfectionism, and it also comes along with self-acceptance too. Acceptance of the self is crucial to move forward in life, because you realize that there are some things you cannot change about yourself, and there's some things that you can work on. So again, it's up to you to choose to work on those things and to make yourself an action plan, and to not stay in that state of inaction and say, oh well, I'm the victim here and why is everyone else so much better. No, the only person you should be comparing yourself to is who you were yesterday, and how you can be a better you today to help benefit yourself for tomorrow, right? I think that is the most you can ask of yourself, and if you're doing that already, then you're doing just fine in my books. So if you're liking it so far, make sure to hit the like button to make sure that this message gets out to other people as well. This is just the season for me to kind of take a step back and not be on it as much, and kind of find like what I really enjoy to do. And what I think I enjoy doing is making these kind of videos where I can sit down and give some kind of advice and guidance. So if you can walk away from social media, that's great. I will just warn you though about living in extremes, because it's easy to say, I'm going to quit cold turkey and delete all the social medias and just vanish. But hey, I think that will be much more difficult to carry out and follow through with in the long run, because like any other addiction, you don't just flip the switch and it's gone and you act like you never did that or you never existed on social media or on the internet. You kind of have to accept like, okay, what were these behaviors I was leaning into because I felt a certain way about myself or about others, and now I really need to take some time off of it and focus on myself and gradually, discontinue using social media, right? Because people may look for you and they may be like, hey, like why aren't you replying to me? Like I'm sending you stuff on here. So again, it's up to you to take initiative and be like, hey everyone, this is my plan. If you want their thoughts, maybe it's a good time to have a conversation about that, right? Because hopefully I'm sparking some conversation or internal conversation with you right now. Let me know if you have any questions or want to continue the conversation in the comment section. Before I go, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and it's probably like the elephant in the room. Like, hey Sierra, what do I do if I have the fear of missing out? Okay, so let's talk about FOMO for a second. Fear often comes from insecurity again, or if you're scared, right? So you're scared of missing out. What can you do about it? You can find other ways to occupy your time. So, like, again, I'm not sure what you're missing out on social media, because you're not missing out on your own life, because you know that you're in control and you can do things that fulfill you and your happiness. The fear could, I guess, be like not being liked by others, or again, not fear of not getting that validation, because that's what I come back to every time, right? Fear of not getting that validation, that just means your self-esteem or your self-worth isn't where it should be. Just really question where that fear or insecurity is coming from, because maybe it's just coming from like wanting to belong to a certain group, but I'm pretty sure you could still be a part of that certain group, just not engage how you are on social media, or maybe find another platform to engage with it on social media, right? So if I want to be a part of this lifestyle group, I'm going to use YouTube as a platform compared to Instagram, because I know for myself I don't like Instagram, I don't want to share on Instagram, period. So maybe it's just about changing, because that's the other thing. We don't recognize we're constantly changing, and if you obstruct change, you won't be as successful as you could be, right? So you have to change, you have to adapt, you have to evolve to what's around you and the circumstances that are presented to you, right? Going back to the fear figuring out what that fear is and getting to the root cause, because sometimes we have to look at it backwards and we have to say, okay, if I have the fear of not belonging on this social media, does it mean that I don't belong at all? Like, you can take it to an extreme, or you can just talk to someone about it, right? And be like, hey, do you see it the same way that I do? Because more likely than not, people are going to disagree, or they're going to share their opinion and make you realize something else that maybe you didn't see before. So the fear is something that you can definitely work on. I don't think there's nothing to be fearful of, right? You have to try it and see where it goes. And if you're really like very dependent on social media and you have that fear of leaving it all behind, maybe you've built up a following, or you built up a profile that you're very proud of, then by any means, click off of this video or come back to it when you feel different, or share with someone else that is going through this journey right now, because I don't think people talk about it enough. Like, they won't say why social media is so bad. They'll just say, yeah, it's so toxic, but continue to engage with it. So I don't know, are you setting a good example if you're still continuing to engage with it? I'm not sure. You can display healthy habits and healthy behaviors and continue to use it, right? And that might lessen your fear. Because if you're fearful, you might also need to set a boundary. This is very important. You might need to set a boundary, whether that be not posting every day, posting once a week, limiting who you talk to, limiting who you interact with, making sure your profile is public or private. You have to figure those things out, and feel free to seek advice and guidance from others, but at the end of the day, it's your decision, and you cannot blame others for what you decide to do in your life, right? Don't be shy to ask for help along the way, and don't rush it also. Like, nothing is a rush. Like I said, you have to just compare yourself to who you were yesterday, who you want to be today, and who you will continue to be tomorrow. And know that nothing is fixed. Know that you are in control and you have the ability to change things in your life. If you don't like it, try something new. So I hope that helps. I hope that summarizes my experience, because I know I learn a lot from people sharing their own experiences. So if you'd like me to clarify anything, just let me know. And thank you for tuning in to this video. I just felt like I needed to get it out there. So yeah, I'll leave you with that, and good luck with wherever you're heading in your journey, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye!